Hi, I'm Jonathan Steiner, and I'm your candidate for pastor at Atonement Lutheran. I wanted to start by saying thank you for the wonderful welcome that my wife and I received when we came out and visited earlier this summer. We really appreciated your hospitality, and we thought Atonement was a wonderful place to be, and we're very excited to be moving forward. I wanted to give you a little bit more information about myself, since I didn't get to talk too long with very many of you. I grew up outside of Washington, D.C., in a town called Greenbelt, Maryland. And I went to high school there, graduated, went to a school called Embry-Riddle, which is in Daytona Beach, Florida, for a year to study aerospace engineering. I did that for a year on an Air Force ROTC scholarship. Decided the engineering wasn't really for me. It was just a little too not as interesting as I was hoping it would be. So I picked up philosophy and sociology, transferred schools to a school in Maryland in Baltimore called UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and there I graduated with a double major in philosophy and sociology. After that, I took a year off from school. I worked at a summer camp for several summers, and that year I worked as a nanny, taking care of the one-year-old son of the camp director there. That was also the year after my wife and I got married, and so we had a nice year-long break from school. My wife started school up in Philly as an occupational therapist that summer after, and so I soon followed her and began seminary at Philadelphia, where I've spent the last 4 years completing my Master's of Divinity. I've also been living outside of Philadelphia, about an hour and 15 minutes away, in a town called Emmaus, Pennsylvania. That's where I did my internship, and then since then I've stayed on doing what we've called shared youth ministry with 3 different churches in the area. So my internship site was a larger church, and there were 2 smaller churches in the area, and we decided that we should get together and do some youth activities, and so we did that, and we really did some cool stuff through the year. Learned a lot of things that you need to know to work with other churches and how to network resources. It was a lot of fun. As I said, my wife is an occupational therapist. She graduated a year ago and is hopefully by this point has a job in Rapid City. She's in the process of interviewing right now and negotiating a contract with them. So we're very excited to be moving out to Rapid City. I've spent most of my life on the East Coast, so moving to South Dakota is going to be a big change for us, but we're very excited. We've found a lot of things that we did not expect in South Dakota, and we have not heard a bad thing from anyone who actually has lived in South Dakota. So we're very excited to be coming out and learning all the new things that are out there for us to do. I did say that I worked at a summer camp for several summers. After that first year in Florida, I worked at a camp called Lutheran, which is in western Pennsylvania, about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh. That's the camp where my grandfather was a program director in the 70s. My dad pretty much grew up on the camp. So I wound up going to a summer camp that was 6 hours away from my home, and I absolutely fell in love with it when I was in high school as a camper. So I decided to go back and work there as a staffer and had a wonderful time. I ended up meeting my wife there, and as I said, we ended up living there for the year after we got married, and we got married at the outdoor amphitheater at the camp. So outdoor ministry has a very large place in my heart, and I am very excited that Outlaw Ranch is close to Atonement, and that we'd be able to find ways to get involved with that. I would love to lead retreats, to volunteer for a week as a chaplain, to do all kinds of things to get involved, to find ways to get Atonement involved, and myself at Outlaw Ranch and other outdoor ministry opportunities. While I was at camp, I really grew to love working with youth and children, the campers who came every single week. I really enjoyed working with the young adults and the older youth who were there on the staff. And the outdoor ministry program is just something I really enjoy, being outdoors, being in God's creation, and seeing all the wonderful blessings that we have in the natural world. I am a young pastor, and so I come with a lot of excitement for where the church is going. A lot of people are struggling with the way that a new church has to be formed because a lot of the old ways of doing church seem to not be successful. I am coming with a lot of energy, a lot of motivation to find ways to make the church stay successful, but still being faithful to our Lutheran traditions, to our faith that we have held, and finding new ways to proclaim the love of Jesus Christ and the grace that we are given through Jesus from God. I really enjoy proclamation through teaching and preaching. Those are some of my gifts that I've been told over and over again. I still see myself as a growing leader, so it's very good to hear that those are my strengths because that's what I enjoy doing. I think that's all for this video. I believe we're going to have a video chat or at least a phone call very shortly. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them, and I look forward to talking with you all. Thank you very much.